Hello, and welcome to the Abundance Marketing Method Masterclass. I am delighted to be here, and this is going to be a jam-packed masterclass. I highly recommend that you grab a notepad and pen. If you're driving and listening to this on replay or live, don't grab a pen, but come back to this. The replay will be available and will be sent out immediately afterwards, and I will be popping this on the podcast. So hello, if you are listening from the podcast. So I wanted to give this to you because messaging has been on my mind recently. To me, I am all about supporting my clients to create the money, clients, and impact that I know that you know you're capable of, but aren't quite creating yet. And I spend a lot of my time figuring out what is it that is missing. One of my audience members literally DM'd this to me the other day. She said, something must be missing. Otherwise, I would be there by now. And it took me down memory lane because I remember feeling this way in my business 2 years ago. I had certified as a life coach. I was showing up. I had built the muscle of getting visible. I was comfortable with being seen online, finally, up until having a business as a life coach. The only way I'd shown up to that point had been just sharing updates of my life, of holidays, of nice things. Going from that to actually sharing what was on my heart and mind and giving a perspective that some people could potentially agree or disagree with was a whole other level of overcoming myself. I'm sure you've been there. And this masterclass is for the coach who is now showing up online. You have built the muscle of visibility. You are quite comfortable and you're probably in a bit of a rhythm with posting and perhaps hoping. And this is what I want to change, because hope is a beautiful energy when we have no control over a situation, but you are a business owner. Your business, your results, your income, your revenue, your profits, the money that you're going to take home that is one day going to replace your corporate salary is not something that we want to give in to hope. This is where we take radical responsibility and step into our personal power so that we can take charge of our business, of our life, of our dreams, of why we're even here in the first place. Nobody's here as a career change to see this through for the next 2 to 3 years and then see what stepping stone that's going to take you to. That's what your career was for. You have found life coaching because this is who you are now. It may not look like one-to-one coaching forever. It's likely to evolve into other things, masterminds, groups, podcast, authorship, whatever, large-scale events, summits, retreats, you name it, you can do it. But almost every life coach I know starts and builds their success from the foundation of transforming one person at a time. So if you're here because you are a soon to be or already certified life coach and you are ready to make money, then you are in the right room, because this is so much more than just a career change. This is you stepping into a new identity and a new version of you. And at the big level, you're doing all of that. You've built the business, you've created an offer, you're showing up online, you're marketing. But if you're in that energetic of posting and hoping, I am seeing one of a few things happening. And I'll be honest, I had to write this down because when I actually got to thinking about all of the mind drama that I used to have and the place that I used to live in my head, whilst I was expecting to show up from that and make money from that, it's no wonder it felt like a struggle. It's no wonder I didn't make anywhere near as much money as I'm making now and having as much fun doing it. I know you know it's possible because you're seeing coaches all the time online, maybe even me, showing the life that they've created, showing the results of this kind of transformation, of actually really going from corporate to coach, from going from employee to CEO. And I often speak about this transition from going from the employee mindset into the CEO mindset. And your messaging is the place where that's going to happen at the most profound level, because it's going to be really tangible and you're going to be able to really like palpably see exactly how it's showing up for you. A phrase I heard the other week, and I cannot stop thinking about it: the graveyard of abandoned life coaches who have abandoned their dreams and gone back to corporate. Did I ever tell you the story of when I was at a networking event about 18 months ago in the Gold Coast in Australia? And I met a lady. She came up to my stand. She was probably early 40s. She looked sensational. And one glance, and I actually just, you get that vibe off people. I saw her and I thought, oh my gosh, we need to speak. I hope she comes to me. She came to me and I said to her, hey, have you ever had a life coach before? And she actually looked at me with a smirk and a scoff and leaned back. Her upper body actively leaned back. Now, if you know a thing or two about body language, or if you've studied NLP, you'll know, and you'll probably just know this instinctively, you'll know that that isn't a good sign. So I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? It turns out that she had been there. She had tried that. She went into life coaching. She did all the things. She said she invested thousands of dollars of money into learning how to be a life coach and build her coaching business. And now she is back full time in insurance. And the idea, and it got to the stage basically where the idea of staying in her 9 to 5 and not having to deal with the roller coaster of emotions that comes with entrepreneurship was a preferable choice over the possibilities that await for us when we step into being a business owner and making this work and committing to working it until it works. And here's the thing with that phrase: you don't work it till it works. That doesn't mean keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. I know you know that phrase. You've probably shared it on your feed already. But in this room, we're graduating from motivational quotes, because that isn't enough to create the clients that you're capable of. And it isn't enough to create the clients and draw in the people that have real life challenges and real life problems, and to show that you are the best coach for your clients. That conversation changed me. It made me realize failure is a possibility. In a world where anything is possible, Murphy's Law, right? Then anything can happen. Anything will happen. It happened for her. But it's also possible, when we look at the other side of that coin, that success is possible, that making it is possible. And I know for a fact it is, because if it is for me, the very person who used to feel all the things that I'm about to describe to you, who went from posting to hoping, to just showing up online and hoping that was going to be enough, to actually really conceptualizing what I was doing, putting some kind of strategic effort behind it, tightening up my messaging. And as a byproduct of that, not before, but a byproduct of mastering my messaging, built the confidence to show up as powerfully as I am today, to call in the clients that I love to help, and to see them make changes in their lives, which has a huge ripple effect on the people that, on the lives that they get to change. The truth is, I do this for me, for you, and for them. That quote has been adapted from the wonder that is Melanie Ann Layer of Alpha Femme. She says, for you, for me, for us. And I love that quote, but the way it sat with me was this: I do this for me at the very beginning because I wanted to make a change in my life. I wanted more fulfillment. I know you're going to relate to this. I craved more fulfillment. I craved more meaning. I got to a stage in my corporate career, despite being really successful, despite working my way up the corporate ladder, despite having a dream job with a dream office in the heart of London, where I got to dress up every day. I got to do the whole mobile phone provided for you, laptop provided for you, credit card provided for you, life of Larry. I could expense things. I was earning a good income. I got to be in the high heels and suits kind of lifestyle. I was a corporate gal all the way until I wasn't. And I started to question, is this it? Is this all what I'm going to do now till retirement? Is my life somebody else's 9 to 5 every single day? Let's be honest, it was 8 till 6 and often beyond that. I wasn't fulfilled. I had nice things. I had a good life, but I always felt like something was missing. And so it breaks my heart to hear about coaches who are now DMing me saying, I've discovered life coaching. I'm doing the do. I'm building my business. And now even in my business, I feel like something is missing. You did not come here to create another version of your 9 to 5. I sure as hell did not start this business to create another version of my corporate career. This is radically different. But the only way you're going to make it radically different is if you take responsibility of making it different for yourself. And that means a new set of behaviors, a new set of habits, a new energetic way of being and showing up in your business. What I'm seeing, and case in point with that lady who I met at the networking event, God bless her, sometimes coaches will start and they don't finish. Be onto yourself. How long did it take you to do your certification? I'm genuinely curious. And this isn't a judgment. This is an opportunity for self-reflection and to decide who you want to be. I happen to be the coach that signed up, decided I was going to certify within a few months, and I did. And I got to it when it came to building my business. My level of determination and commitment to this path was non-negotiable. It's not a problem if your story is a little bit different. But if you did take a little bit longer and a hot second to finish that certification, and it's taking you a hot second to build up the balls, to go out there and do the thing, like finally showing up, showing your face, getting visible, being on camera, these steps that you've already achieved, I want you just to reflect on that for a microsecond and see what behaviors are already showing up, what patterns are already showing up in your business. Because if that's what it took for you to get to this stage, what is it going to take to get you to the stage where you're actually making the kind of money that replaces your corporate salary and sees you creating the kind of financial stability outside of your 9 to 5 that allows you to be full-time in your coaching business the way you really want to be? That's something to seriously contemplate. And so this masterclass is an invitation for you to step up, to acknowledge that you want this for a reason. You desire it because it's possible for you. And so starting but not finishing isn't an option this time. This is the time where you make a decision to do it differently, to make a change. Now, in truth, this is way bigger than just your message right now. But the truth is, to write a compelling message, to speak a message as powerful as what I'm saying to you right now, it requires you to have this level of conviction, not confidence. Confidence is how I'm going to feel after this masterclass. That's a byproduct. Confidence is how you feel after you've smashed a coaching session, free or paid, it doesn't matter. Confident is how you feel after you've shown up and taking the vulnerable and scary and uncomfortable steps. So what does it take to be that person? Courage and conviction. Do you have the courage and conviction to show up and be the version of you that goes after what she wants? Your dreams are not going to end up in the graveyard of abandoned life coaching dreams. I will not allow that to happen under my watch. I am so happy you're in this masterclass right now, because it means I have the power to influence change in you. When you come into my world, I scoop you up and I instill this level of courage and conviction that I have in myself into you, because I know that that's what you need right now. But it isn't just courage and conviction. It isn't just the energetics. It is the what to do. It is the how to say it. And this is why I created Messaging Mastery, because it is both. As you can see, the who you're being is an essential non-negotiable to you creating the success that I know you're capable of. But what you say requires a touch of strategy as well. I don't want you to continue to feel like selling is sleazy, to get the ick when you sell, to worry that you're saying that you're showing up too much, or that you're saying it too much, or that people are going to have thoughts about you that aren't favorable for you. If that happens to you when you're showing up online, then we need to shift that urgently. We need to make that shift ASAP so that you can say what you need to say. Because the people who need to hear what you have to say, they're not thinking that you're being sleazy. They're relieved that you have a solution to their problems. They are leaning in, excited to see what else you're going to say. They want the activation. They want to feel the shift that you're experiencing right this second on this masterclass. They want to be influenced into change because they don't want what they currently have. But in the absence of having a solution, they will simply keep doing what they're doing, hoping for a different outcome. And you know that that doesn't work. So when you start to shift the mindset that selling isn't sleazy, but it in fact is a service, that it is the first initiation into being willing and open to realize that not only is change available, but change is possible, then that is how you start positioning yourself as an authority. What I don't want you to see is to have you doom scrolling, looking for inspiration for another moment longer. One of my clients came to me in one-to-one, because admittedly, group is a newer venture for me. So most of my examples are from my one-to-one clients. And my one-to-one came to me and we were in the CEO strategy session, which is the 2-hour kickoff I do for my one-to-one container, Thrive. And she was willing, she was ready, she was in the energy of what it looks like when you've made a 4-figure investment in yourself. She showed the fuck up, ready to make a change. So we did the work. We broke down her offer. We broke down her marketing and sales strategy. We got clarity on what she was going to start doing in her business at that macro level. But then what was interesting, and this was one of the first seeds of what has now become messaging mastery. What I found fascinating was that with all the good intention and all the big strategic thinking and all the great energetics, when it came down to the micro moment of her finally having some time to spare in between a busy day and a busy 9-to-5 and a busy life, when it actually came to creating content, it was taking her 2 hours. Maybe it's not taking you 2 hours. Maybe it's taking you 40 minutes. Maybe it's taking you an hour. Maybe it's taking you 3. It doesn't actually matter how long it's taking. What I'm curious to know is if it actually feels good when you do it. Do you go from, and I'm going to say this in a way that is so visceral to you, I can only possibly know this because I have been there. So trust me when I say, I am not judging. I am not sitting here on my high horse. I have literally been there. I know it so well. You're all geared up and ready to go. You're committed. You want to post. You're ready to sell. So you get your phone out. You're on the sofa. And you open your phone, go to Instagram, or you go to Facebook, or you log into your email and you start writing. And you're like, oh God, what do I say? What do I say? So you go to the platform and you think, right, let's get some inspiration. Let's see what's trending. And then what happens? Your biz bestie shows up. The coach that was in your certification shows up. That business coach that you're plugged into has said the exact same thing that you were going to say, but she said it 10 times better. Then that peer coach that you follow who's in the same niche as you has said something exactly how you were going to say it. And you're thinking, well, I can't compete with that. Like, I'm not even being mean to myself here. Like, that's a good post. Like, genuinely, it's really fucking good. Like, what can I say here? So then you're like, okay, let's take a different track. Maybe we'll try a different platform. Or you're like, right, let's just find some trending audio and we'll run with that. And then you get distracted. Then you're just in the rabbit hole. You're in the doom scroll. Then an idea comes through. Okay, finally, you can start creating. Then you start creating. By this point, you're flagging. The energy is diminishing. You're writing, but now you're also overthinking. You're going back, you're thinking, oh, is this clear enough? Have I added enough emojis? Oh, what was that advice that I saw from that social media account about how to do a good hook and how to keep the audience engaged? And oh, do I do a CTA? Oh, I don't want to be too salesy. Oh, maybe this is a bit too direct. Maybe I just need to be a little bit softer. And with the edits that you're doing, you're diluting and diluting and diluting. You're editing and you're editing and you're editing. Then you need to do the final proofread. And as you rewrite it, as you reread it, you find yourself rewriting it. By this stage, you're feeling more and more contracted. Your brain is fatigued. Your thumb is literally aching. Your back's sore. You're hungry. You're tired. You need to go grab some water. You need to cook dinner in a minute. The kids are at you. The partner's going to be home soon. You're just over it. So, oh, fuck it. That will do. Post. That's it. Off you go. And as you're doing it, you're also feeling that sinking in your heart going, well, no one's going to read this anyway. What's the point? And if for bonus points, you do what I used to do, you then fixate and you double check and you reread it 10 minutes after you've posted it. And then you're checking to see if there's been any engagement. Oh my God, I'm exhausted telling you the story. But this is what I went through for the first year to 18 months of my coaching journey. I still feel like it's quite a recent revelation that I've been able to shift out of that thinking. When you come into my world, I'm going to help you not do any of that, because I'm going to give you my proprietary method, the abundance marketing method, which allows you to create from a place of abundance. The clue is in the name. It's going to allow you to create from a place of not spiraling, not doom scrolling, and not necessarily needing inspiration from external sources, because you have absolute clarity, conviction, and courage to know where to find the inspiration that you actually need to write the message that your client needs to hear. Hint, you're not going to find it on social media. That doesn't mean I don't ever use social media to inspire me, but not for the message. I use it to inspire me for the creative outlet, for the fun, for the banter, for the audio, for the idea on how I want to package it and communicate it. But the core message, that essence of my connection, my soul connection of I am the coach for my clients. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to say. I know exactly what you are going through because I have been in your shoes. I know what it's like to be there. I am the first and best client for my business. The transformation I have been through is the tip of the iceberg for the kind of transformations that I can offer everybody, but it is the best starting point for me to communicate just how powerfully I know that I am positioned to help you. This is where I started even before I had testimonials. It starts from you. It starts from you seeing your own power, you stepping into your own courage and conviction, bringing your own authority to the table, because who you've been, where you've come from, everything that led you to this point of deciding to be a life coach, that is what gives you the message. That is what gives you the qualification over and above the certifications that you have or don't have. When you're coming at it from that level of inner knowing, the message shows itself to you. And yes, there are some tactics behind that I give you. Ways to write down and identify exactly what that transformation is. And as you have clients, and I know that the majority of you in this space who's listening to this now, who's in this room, listening to replay, listening to the podcast, wherever you're downloading this channeled guidance, it's because you are already coaching. You already have examples from free or paid clients that I know that you have the lived examples that you can communicate to your audience in a way that they need to hear it right now. When you tap into that resource, your power becomes exponential. It becomes limitless. That's how you never run out of things to say. You're no longer relying on outside sources. Your story, your experience with your own transformation, your clients become the message. And there is a way to do this. The shift, as we've spoke about before, was firstly energetic, but then it is tactical. It is knowing how to communicate client case studies. How often have you received a DM or a message from an existing client, or maybe it's in the chat saying, oh my God, mind blown. This is amazing. Thank you so much. That was an incredible session. So you go ahead and share the screenshot. Amazing. But then what? You're not leveraging your client case studies and your testimonials and your social proof to the max. Inside Messaging Mastery, I'm going, and I'll tell you now, but I don't have the time. This is a whole module in and of itself. I'm not intentionally holding anything that I'm saying back. When I'm directing you to Messaging Mastery, it's because it's a container that's big enough for me to go into the depth that these topics need. But I'm at least giving you the awareness that these things exist so you know it's possible for you. When you know how to position a message like, oh my gosh, that was mind-blowing, that was such a powerful session, and to not just turn it into a, oh, lovely message from my client, into a powerful piece of positioning content that showcases how you are the coach for your clients, the game starts to change. People start to lean in. So case studies and leveraging them in a way that actually speaks directly to your clients, being able to address your clients' problems. This is a big one. Lots of coaches that I speak to either flat out don't like to do it or don't know how to do it when it comes to speaking to your client struggles. And there is a way. There is a way to speak to them that doesn't leave them in their victim. Because this is one of the objections I hear from a lot of coaches. They don't want to necessarily just talk about all the problems their clients have, because that isn't very empowering for you, for them. It isn't very nice to be told what you're doing wrong or what's missing or how it could be better. What if there was a way to speak powerfully to your client's struggles that leave them feeling better, that leave them better, not just feeling better, but they're actually better? The reason we need to speak to the pain points and the struggles is because without that, your client doesn't necessarily know that you're speaking to them. But here's how I see lots of coaches do it. They're using too much coachy speak. I spoke about this in one of my lives today, at the time of the recording anyway, which was on the 28th of February. I spoke about the way that we use in coachy speak. The big one that I'm seeing at the moment are words like, and I say this because I used to do this, self-love, fulfillment, purpose, limiting beliefs, inner critic, just to name like the biggies, inner child. Does your client have a clue what any of those things mean? If you're even working like I am, I'm marketing to coaches. I know you know what those things mean. And even I don't use that language in my marketing, not in and of itself. Because conceptually, everybody understands what they mean, even if they don't have a deep dive knowledge of it. But that isn't the thing that makes your clients go, oh God, you're in my head. And one of the things that I consistently receive as feedback from my clients as they're about to pay me and join my containers, especially inside my one-to-one, is that they say to me, every single email that you sent me, I feel like you were calling me out, calling me forward, speaking directly to me. I felt like you were watching me. You were in my head. You were in my head. You need to be in your clients' heads. And I bet you your bottom dollar, they are not thinking, I need more self-love in my life. I need more purpose. I need to find my ikigai. They do, and that's what you help them with. But that isn't the language that they're using. Inside Messaging Mastery, we have a whole session on this called symptom specificity. I'm going to be breaking down for you the difference between their problem and the way they're experiencing their problem. Two very different things. You need to be addressing both in order to call in your dream clients. You need to be addressing both in order for your audience to even realize that you're speaking to them. And then you need to be doing the next piece of the puzzle, which is actually positioning your offer. You so far are likely you've built that muscle of posting. You've built the muscle of showing up and getting visible, of sharing some perspectives, of even sharing social proof and resharing those beautiful screenshots from your clients. As you're seeing now, you're doing all the right things, just not at the depth and not with the authority and not with the positioning that you actually needed in order to convert that audience into a client. This is the shift that you're going to be doing inside Messaging Mastery. So the positioning piece, which again, of course, is an entire module inside Messaging Mastery, is about not just saying, work with me to do this, work with me if you want X. It's guiding somebody through the process. There's a time and a place, similar to what I just described, with the difference between symptoms and the difference between the client problem. So the client problem and then the client and then the problem as the client experiences it, two different things. There's the other side, which is your offer, positioning your offer, showcasing the result that they get and the things that they will learn and the process that they will take in that transformation. Again, we need both pieces of the puzzle. Put these four aspects together. You create powerful messaging. This is something that my client shifted inside her one-to-one very, very recently. My client S came to me and said, you know what? I've had a reflection recently, and it feels like I've been in this habit. And just to say, if you are in business and you've been posting for 3 months or longer in your business and you're not creating the money and clients that you know you're capable of and that you really want to call in so that you can replace your corporate salary this year, even if you're already outside of the 9-to-5, but especially if you want to be replacing your 9-to-5 with life coaching. If you're already 3 months in or longer, whatever you're doing right now is already habitual. One of my clients said to me inside the DMs today, she said, I'm shifting and it feels really uncomfortable. It's because we're creatures of habit. What you've been doing is what you've been doing. It's what you're used to. You're already in the rhythm of posting as you're posting. This is going to be a massive pattern interrupt if you join Message Mastery. The truth is, this masterclass is a pattern interrupt. Everything I'm downloading, you're going to want to watch this masterclass again and again and again, especially if you don't join Messaging Mastery. I have not held anything back. I just don't have this time and the space inside a 1-hour container to give you everything you actually need to put this into practice and to implement. But I haven't held back from a single thing. Everything you're going to do inside Messaging Mastery, I've described to you here. And there's still a couple of components that I want to continue to describe to you, so at least you know what they are. So if for any reason you're not in a position to invest right now, you still have everything you need, even if you don't have my support to actually implement. But this is the thing. If you've been doing it for 3 months or longer at this stage, it's already a habit. This interrupt is, I'm so happy that you've received it, because even if you never listen to this again or revisit your notes, you're already going to have shifts that are going to make that 1% difference in your messaging. That 1% difference over time compounds. So you're already heading in the right direction. We're already shifting your messaging just in this masterclass alone to start doing the things that you really need to be doing to call those clients in. But if you want to expedite that process, and if you want my support with that, get inside the program. It's a no-brainer. But if I go back to my client S, she came to me and said, I've been looking at my socials. I highly recommend you do this. Audit your own social media. I shared this in a post a couple of months ago. Grab your phone. Actually, grab someone else's phone. If you have a friend or a partner who trusts you with their phone, go to your own social media. There's something different about doing it from somebody else's phone, because it's like you're looking at it through somebody else's perspective. And you need this because I want you to audit your own social media. Go to your social media right now and look at it and ask yourself, would you follow you? Another client of mine, also S actually, said to me, I'm bored by my own content. I look at my own social media and I'm bored by it. Like, it doesn't excite me. I thought, fair play. Like, let's get to work. We can do something with this. That level of self-awareness is the kind of empowerment you need to be able to actually implement the changes that you need to make. So I get excited when you come to me with that self-critique, because that self-critique says to me, you are ready to make a change. That is exciting to me. So let's go back to my other client, S. She said to me, yeah, my feed, it's kind of like a journal. I'm sharing really vulnerably. I can tell that I'm building community. I know that people like me and trust me because of the way I share, but I don't feel like I'm selling. I mean, the truth is no one's buying. So the fact is I'm not selling, because if you're selling effectively, then people are buying. That's how you know if you're selling. So if you think you're selling, but you're not creating clients or money, then you're not selling. So we got to work. And in the space of 2 weeks of shifting the perspective of the way that she was sharing, both energetically and with a few tactical tweets, what we started to do is that we started to show her authority, even when she was telling personal stories. Then we started speaking to her genius. We started speaking to the things where she actually gets lit the fuck up, the things that actually she really likes. What I find with coaches is that we can get into a bit of a people pleasing. And if you're a people pleaser, lean in here. We can get into this people pleasing cycle of saying what we think we should say, saying what we think they want versus what we know they need to hear. Very different level of content creation right there. Very different level of positioning, very different level of authority building. So we shifted from journaling to speaking to her authority and to speaking to her genius, aka the things that light her up and the things that she is shit hot about. What did she receive? 3 consults within the space of 2 weeks. Crickets before. 3 consults. That is evidence. People are watching and listening, and then they're going, oh, okay, she can help me. She's the coach for me. That's the shift that you want to start making in your marketing. So the final piece of the abundance marketing method is magic and momentum. I introduced this as I was speaking about the habits that you formed, the rhythm that you're already in, what already feels comfortable to you to share and post. This is going to link back to the energetics and being the business owner who knows how to have your own back so that you can continue to do the things that you haven't yet done, so that you can continue to step into that uncomfortable place of being slightly more authoritative, of being slightly more edgy, slightly more direct, slightly more salesy. But by now, hopefully, you're realizing that this kind of shift in how you're communicating your message has, without actively selling, we've not even talked about calls to action yet. You're already positioning yourself. You're already selling even when you're not selling. You're already creating that trust and authority for your audience to buy into you before you even presented something to buy. But the magic piece that needs to come in is this aspect of innate trust. This is everything. Knowing what to say is as much about trusting in the message and trusting in yourself. This is one of my most favorite concepts. If you know me, and if you don't, welcome. But if you know me, you will know that I am not just a business strategy coach. As you can tell so far, I'm highly about the energetics because I believe the energetics is what makes the strategy work for you and not for her, and so on and so forth. Every strategy works. Of course, you need to have one. That's non-negotiable. But why do some strategies work for her and not for him? Or why does it work for him and not for her? It's because of the energetics that are fueling that strategy. If the strategy is the car, the energetics is the fuel. The fuel has to be right. You put petrol in a petrol car, it's going to move. You put diesel in a petrol car, you're going to be stuck for a pretty long time. If you keep feeling shit about your messaging, if you keep feeling sleazy about sales, if you keep just posting and hoping, you're putting diesel in a petrol car. You're never going to reach the moon that way. Now we need to shift from not just energetics, not just strategy, but magic. Magic is where we operate in the spiritual realm. I'm going to totally hook, line, and sinker some of you for this one. And some of you are going to go, that was great, but now you've lost me. I love you. Thank you. And God bless. Those of you who are like, now she's talking my language, lean the fuck in, because this is the best part. This is the bit I get the most excited about. All of the energetics, all of the strategy is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But the thing that's going to bring your message alive is the innate trust, is knowing how to communicate your magic and allowing the creativity of that to come through. I've never seen another business coach speak about this. It is about realizing that this isn't formulaic. This isn't about one platform, one template, one trending audio. There isn't a specific niche. There isn't a specific strategy. There isn't a specific platform. All of it can work. What makes it work is not just your energetics. It is your connection to something that is much bigger at play. I'm going to take you full circle right now. You know how at the very beginning of this masterclass, I said to you, everything in your life to date, in your career to date, has led you to this moment? It's because you're meant to be here. This isn't just you making conscious choices. This is you being in co-creation with your life, being in co-creation with the universe. There is magic at play. And when you tap into that divine knowing, when you tap into that part of your divinity, and you leverage all of your intellect, your wisdom, your experience, your skill, which is all found in your humanity, when you bridge that gap between the 3D and the 5D, your humanity and your spirituality, what you're doing with who you're being, that is the true shift into abundance marketing method. This is a very new concept for me. This is the first time I have truly conceptualized this, but it wouldn't be complete if I didn't acknowledge the magic that is involved. The magic is why I was able to go from corporate to coach. I was never, as far as I was aware, meant to leave my corporate career, my safe, stable job in London. I was never meant to do this, as far as I was aware. It was never part of the plan. And yet, I had this epiphany the other day inside my mastermind. What if everything was simply leading me here? What I thought was a pattern interrupt into my career was actually the intended path the whole time. You think you're changing identity. You think you're letting something go that was intended for you. What I have found to be true for me, and maybe this will be true for you, is that what if this is who you were always intended to be? And that your career was only ever intended to be the stepping stone into this. Your success suddenly becomes a lot more inevitable, right? That magic you get to tap into, that innate trust that this is exactly where you're meant to be, listening to this exact masterclass, listening to this exact download, having that awareness and realization, that inner knowing that it isn't just you that thinks this, that knows that you're meant to be a life coach, even if no one else in your immediate family or friends get it. But that this is true for me and that it gets to be true for you. I hope that that brings you home to yourself. Because when you are fully connected to the magic of what it is to do the work that we do, to take people through the transformations that we take them through, of course, it's who we were meant to always be. And when you infuse that level of self-trust, of certainty, of knowing into your marketing and into your message, the message is going to connect at a soul level. There's the intellectual level of symptom specificity, of social proof, of showcasing the process and the results, of showing the problem that your client is experiencing and the problem in the way that your client is experiencing it. This is all the cognitive stuff. But when you drop into that level of magic, that trust, that co-creation with something bigger than you, that awareness that this is who you were always meant to be, you're exactly on the right path, that you have decided on this offer for a reason, that you want to work with the people you want to work with for a reason, the work you're doing becomes way bigger than yourself. It becomes about the people that you get to transform. It becomes about the urgency for them to make the change, to see the light, to realize that investing with you is the right choice. And when your message is infused with that level of grounded certainty, of belonging, of service, selling becomes a no-brainer. This is why I can show up so powerfully, so abundantly, because I know if you think this masterclass is good, imagine what we can do when we are working together, when you are actively choosing to plug in and connect and extract and learn and then implement and embody. That is how you shift from selling being sleazy and lots of cognitive mind drama that's based off these beliefs that you've acquired over the years into this deep acceptance that this is exactly who you're meant to be, exactly what you're meant to be doing, exactly where you're going, and that the person you want to serve has come to you because it is exactly right for you and you are exactly right for them. Yeah, selling becomes a no-brainer. Inviting people to work with you becomes a no-brainer. The ideas are not just happening because you're cognitively thinking so hard and trying to find inspiration from social media. The ideas are coming to you. The message comes through you because it is divinely channeled through you. It is way bigger work at play than just you. You're not in this alone. This is so much bigger than just you. Oh, chills, absolute chills as I communicate this. I feel this through my bones. I didn't plan to say that, but I know it to be true. This is my truth, and I gift it to you. I wanted to give you that knowledge for free, even if you never work with me, because that shift alone, above anything else, I think is the most important gift I could give you today. But if you want to take this work all the way, you want to connect and be inside the container where you can embody this. This isn't a quick course where I'm going to like love bomb you with the knowledge and off I go. This is a 12-week, like a quarter of the year, a 12-week container for you to truly step into, not my world, into your power, into being the coach that you know you are capable of being. And finally, both on an intellectual level, on the humanity level, finally conceptualize what you do. Finally put to words the transformation that you create for your clients. Finally know that you will never have things to run out of to say. Did that make sense? You will never run out of things to say. Because the thing that is cultivating the message is so much bigger than some inspiration you can take from social media. And that when you do use social media, it is simply to enhance, to have fun, to get creative, to think outside the box, to play. But it isn't the source of your creativity, because your creativity, your connection to your clients comes from within. So if you want to do this, join Messaging Mastery. At the time of this recording, the early bird is still available, but it is only available until the 1st of March. On the 1st of March, the price increases to full price. So the choice is yours. The link is going to be in the show notes, or feel free to DM me anytime, but you can jump on in. There's payment plans and pay in full option. Inside Messaging Mastery, we have 12 weeks. Each week is going to be a training drop. And there's going to be a group Voxer. I wasn't kidding when I said this is a mini mind. Why is it a mini mind? Simply because it is a mini topic, aka messaging. Although, as we've established, it's not exactly a small topic. It's a huge topic, but it's a focused topic. That's why it's called a mini mind. There's a focused topic, your message, but this feeds into almost every area of your business. So you're going to have a group Voxer chat in order to get my coaching, my support during workday hours. You're also going to have a Facebook group where you can share your posts and receive feedback. And then you're going to get those training drops weekly, and you get access to those modules for life. So with every new offer, you're going to want to come back and revisit this work. With every new evolution, you're going to want to come back and finish this work. This stuff is timeless. It doesn't matter how the trends change, what platform you're using, what medium you're using, or how your offer changes, whether it's one-to-one, group, subscription. You are going to want to deep dive into the message for every single offer, because every offer requires a unique message. The person who wants to dive into one-to-one with you is going to have different needs to the person who is wanting to just buy a cheap subscription or a micro offer or a group container with you. Even if it's the same person, the sell is different, because you're appealing to different benefits. You're appealing to different problems. So yes, you're going to want this. You're going to want to revisit this work and the foundations and the philosophies of this work for every single offer. And you're going to learn it at one level. And when you revisit it, you're going to know it at a deeper and deeper and deeper level. Because this is the thing with business. Business practices are pretty timeless. When you really get to the core of what business is about, business is simply a value exchange. It is you providing a product or service that someone acknowledges and says, I want that, I need that. What is the value exchange? The denomination we use is money. That's how we determine the value. It's very, very simple. These are basic business principles that are timeless. They have been true for centuries. Being able to communicate that you have something that your clients need and offer it to them in a way that is easy for them to buy and create safety for them to buy is all we're doing inside Messaging Mastery. So come join me. Link is in the show notes. Let me know how this landed for you. Drop me a DM. Drop it in the comments if you're seeing this in a place that has comments. Share with me if this was impactful for you. Share with me what landed. This was a big session. I do not expect you to remember it all. You'll have access to the replay, so you can watch this over and over again. But if you are serious about doing this work and truly mastering your message using the abundance marketing method that I've given you, then come and join me today.